Alright, so this is my Unreal level. First thing I'm going to go over is the sun, the fog, and the clouds that the tutorial dude had me do. As well in the world outliner, you got the first one, which is Skysphere. You can open that up. He had us mess with the clouds and I think it was just the clouds on Skysphere specifically. He had us go over opacity, speed. We had to up it a bit to go along with the speed of that the grass is moving at. We have the sun, which is, I believe, goes along with light source here. My frame rate's really shit, so just bear with me here. You have the light source right here. We messed with the rotation on that a bit. You can rotate it to change the lighting. I rotated it to make it more believable that it was around evening time. We have fog as well. Quite a bit of fog that goes with exponential height fog. Messed with fog density and height fall off to create this foggy look that you got right now all around the terrain. Let's see what else. You got grass, movement of grass. If you look closely, you can see it moving. Problem is, sorry about that, my mic stopped working for a quick second there. So this is the grass. It's moving to go along with the idea that there is wind moving the grass. So the grass you can find in the geometry section. It's here, low grass. You can open that up. That's the low grass. But the way we get it to move is by going to the, where was it? Materials, I think. You go to m_grassmaster. You have all this shit here. Comment it up so we can understand what it is more clearly. You have textures, tint, multipliers. This is where the wind comes into play. You got wind intensity and a parameter. You got wind weight parameter. Both of these set at 0.5. Vertex color. Not really sure what these do, but tutorial said have that, so I did. These are both plugged into a multiplayer, which is connected to the world position offset, which allows for the grass to be moving. Right now it's not rendered here, but that's just because of my low processing. So yeah, that's how we got the grass to move around. You also got this fireplace here. The fire was a built-in thing, so all I had to do really was go to content. I think it was under starter content and particles, I believe. Yeah, p_fire. You just drag that out, put it on top of there. I also put a light source on top of it. Went to lights, pulled a point light, and put it over there, just to make it more believable that there's a fire. You got the house as well. Originally, according to the tutorial, there was supposed to be a house with like a window, which was going to have a separate light source. But I didn't pay for those assets, so I had to find whatever I could off the internet. So I just took a house model and I textured it. Kinda. Looks like shit though. So I also had to mess with scalability settings a lot, which is something he went over in the tutorial. Everything's set at really low values right now, because if it was at any higher, it would probably crash my computer, considering that I'm also screen recording, which messes with it a lot as well. I also wanted to go over textures that I put all around the map. I had a little path made of dirt from a dirt texture that I found on Google. The rest is covered in either not really bright, but somewhat bright green grass, or more dead grass, which I think fits with the flowing grass a bit more. You also have rocky surfaces and these kind of shittily sculpted mountains that I sculpted using the landscape editor. Yeah, and I also used the foliage editor to put around these oak trees. Originally the oak trees were supposed to be, according to the tutorial, built on Maya, and then have these like waving branches and such, but I didn't have access to those assets, so I just had to use the built-in ones that were already on Unreal. So I can't really have them waving around because they're just branches, thick branches. Wouldn't make sense to have them flowing around. And yeah, I use the foliage tool to basically just paint flowing grass and oak trees everywhere. I tried to do the same with rocks, but for some reason it just wouldn't work. I'm not sure why. So yeah, and but I did manage to get a few rocks done down there that I messed around with. Those were pretty simple. You just go into I have materials. I created a rock kind of color, and to create the 3D version that I could put inside the map. I have no idea where it went. Oh yeah, geometry. That would make sense. It's in geometry. It's also where I imported the FBX file for the farmhouse and the campfire. This is the rock. Its basic size is really small, so I always have to scale it up a shit ton every time I pull it in, because otherwise you just wouldn't be able to see it. For some reason it didn't work on the foliage type. Maybe that's something I just need to figure out by myself. The last thing, we also did something surrounding post-processing. He had us go over post-processing a lot. With post-process volume. He had us mess with chromatic aberration, had us do something with vignettes and the bloom of the sun, so it would look nicer. Where's the sun? It's hidden behind the clouds right now. Basically, oh yeah, that's what it is. Just a bloom. So like when you look at the sun through an angle, it just looks nicer. Like you get a bit of God rays or whatever. Right now the grass seems to have disappeared. That's probably because I turned down the scaling. Sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not. I just don't really. It's kind of inconsistent in that regard. But if you turn up the scaling to high, you can see all the post-processing and the chromatic aberration he had us do. Although it's not the best looking, because I can't really mess around with it on high that well. Yeah, you can see a bit of the aberration at a distance. Yeah, that's the post-processing, and that's about all we went over. And that's all, but all that I can remember as of now. Yeah.